Hey Reddit, I'm feeling conflicted about a recent situation with my mother-in-law and my kids, and I need an outside perspective. So, a bit of backstory. My husband and I are not religious. We both grew up in families where religion was a huge part of our lives, and we were constantly told to behave because God was watching. By the time we were adults, we'd moved away from those beliefs, finding them restrictive and sometimes anxiety-inducing. Now, with two young kids of our own, Max, who is 9, and Ellie, who is 6, we've tried to raise them with a sense of respect, kindness, and accountability that isn't tied to any religious doctrine. Enter my mother-in-law, Diane. Diane is very religious. She goes to church every Sunday, volunteers for church events, and has her home filled with religious art. And while she knows we don't share her beliefs, she's often pushed boundaries, especially where the kids are concerned. We've let things slide in the past, like the Bible-themed books she gives them or the religious language she sometimes uses around them. But recently, she took things a step too far. A few weeks ago, we dropped Max and Ellie off at Diane's so my husband and I could have a night out. We don't do this often, but the kids love visiting their grandma, and it gives us a rare chance to relax. When we picked them up later, I could tell something was off. Both kids seemed unusually quiet, which is rare for them. When we got home, I asked what was wrong, and Max said, "Grandma told us we have to be good because Jesus is watching us, and he'll punish us if we're bad." I was floored. Not only did this feel like an overstep, but it also felt like a scare tactic to get them to behave. Max seemed genuinely worried about this unseen force that was watching his every move. Ellie, being younger, was quiet, but looked equally anxious. We'd worked so hard to create an environment where they felt safe and secure, and suddenly, they were afraid of being punished by a figure they barely even knew about.
Know you've been a good friend.
So I decided to set things straight. I sat them down and told them that, in our home, we don't believe in Jesus the same way Grandma does. I told them that Jesus is part of a story some people believe in, and it's okay for people to have different beliefs. But I also made it clear that they didn't need to worry about Jesus watching or punishing them. In our family, the only people they answer to are me and their dad. Well, fast forward to the next time the kids were at Diane's house. Apparently, during dinner, Max and Ellie casually announced, "Grandma, Jesus isn't real. Mom said he's just part of a story." They went on to say that the only authority they look up to is Mom and Dad. Diane was livid. When she dropped them back home, she pulled me aside and laid into me, saying I was poisoning my children's minds and disrespecting her beliefs. I tried to explain my perspective, that I didn't appreciate her using fear to control them, and that as their parent, it's my right to decide how we approach topics like religion. But she wasn't having it. She called me arrogant and accused me of turning the kids against her faith. She's since told my husband that she won't be disrespected by children in her own home, and that she deserves to have her beliefs respected by her family. She even hinted that she might not be comfortable having the kids over if I'm going to fill their heads with nonsense. Now some family members are siding with Diane, saying I should have handled things differently and that I shouldn't have told the kids Jesus isn't real. My husband is on my side, but he's also worried about the growing tension with his mom. I don't regret telling the kids the truth as we see it, but I do wonder if I should have been more diplomatic or framed it differently. So Reddit, am I the asshole for telling my kids Jesus isn't real after their grandma scared them with the idea of divine punishment? Or was I justified in making sure they felt safe and secure without being frightened by religious guilt? Let me know in the comments.